Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Math and Physics podcast. This is episode number 15, and I am your host, Parker.
And I am Ray, and we welcome you today with a guest we have today. And do you want to introduce yourself?
Hello, everyone. I'm Raphael. I'm an engineering student in electrical engineering.
Awesome. And which university do you go to?
It is at the École Polytechnique Montréal, which is affiliated with the University of Montreal.
Oh,
Awesome. So, me and Raf actually know each other from high school. We were pretty much in like all the same classes, except for um, you took chemistry, right?
Yeah, I took IB chemistry in grade 11 and 12.
Okay, yeah. So we had like the same classes except for chemistry because I didn't take that. And then after grade 12, I went to Toronto. He went to Montreal, but we're still in contact. And so we're just gonna have this podcast to see how his year went, see his interests, etc.
Sounds good.
okay. So I guess we can start off with just a simple question. Well, how was your year? How was your first year of uni?
Well, to be honest, it went pretty well. I was expecting it probably to be a bit harder, I guess the difference, but it was definitely like a culture shock since I was in in the Quebec system. They have CEGEP, which is 2 years between high school and university. So Ontario students kind of finish high school or enter university 1 year ahead of Quebec students.
Mhm.
So I was with other international students, so it was really interesting to learn more about their cultures and see what they learned before in high school compared to what we did in Ontario.
Wait, so are you a year older than us?
No, I'm the same age as you guys.
Oh, but in CJEP you have one more year, right?
Yeah, exactly. So this year was like a prep year for the like bachelor's program.
Oh, so this wasn't like your first year technically
Technically
speaking.
not in the bachelor's degree, I guess, but
Oh, okay.
um, I had a friend at Queens in engineering, and the things we did were like pretty similar.
Yeah, so basically Quebec doesn't have a grade 12. They just have a grade 11 and then 2 years in Cégep and then so basically they have a grade like 12 and 13. That's in between
Mhm.
high school and
Yeah.
university.
Yeah,
Yeah.
believe it or not, my cousin actually lives in Quebec. I have two cousins that live there, and they've gone through the same thing. But I thought that because CJEP is like because it's your grade 12 and then another year, so then would you have to do another 4 years of bachelor's after this, or would it just be three?
Yes, exactly. So I did the prep year, and then there's a 4 year
Oh,
bachelor's degree.
okay.
Yeah.
So technically, you're gonna be in university for a year longer than us.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, okay, okay.
Okay, I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So your first year bachelor's will pretty much be very easy for you, right?
Well, yeah, it's kind of interesting because the first year, like, will probably be easier for me compared to Quebec students,
Hmm.
since the prep year classes are by Polytechnique for the students, so they really prepare us well, and like so we know exactly how the school works and what to expect, kind of like from exams and etc. Like I did a programming course actually, like an intensive one
Hmm.
for summer school. So it was only 6 weeks instead of 12 weeks over the summer. So I just finished it, and really it followed exactly like it was a really good continuation of my programming class from my prep year. So it was really nice to see that they prepare us well.
Awesome. Do you have any like uh project or anything you learned that really intrigued you in your programming classes?
I guess like it was quite introductory, but it was kind of nice to see like I guess all the resources that already exist for you, such as like
Yeah.
libraries and stuff. I find, and the community aspect of programming is really nice because
Yeah,
it's really
true.
simple. No matter like what level you're at, you can always find good tips online. That was probably the coolest part because it's still like it was still quite introductory.
Okay. Like, was there any program that you made? Because obviously, I don't exactly know the course that you went through, but was
Yeah.
there any like one program you made this in these 6 weeks where you were like, "Damn, that's so cool."
Oh, definitely. So for this one assignment that we had to do, we had to feed the program like an image file, a bitmap to be more precise, and
Mhm.
then the program would. Oh, and then you would also tell it the size of the squares that that you would want, because the
Okay.
program would essentially take your picture, divide it into multiple squares of the height and width that you would want, and then scramble those pieces so you would get a sort of puzzle at the end. So that was pretty cool, I
Oh,
found.
that's pretty dope. That's really cool. That's actually pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah, and you were doing that on C++, right?
Yeah, exactly. So the summer class I took was in C++, which is a compiled language. So what that means is basically you do your code, and then the 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 computer like compiles it and builds a file that later is executed by the computer. And so when you so that basically helps for speed, since the program is already like compiled, and so it knows what it has to do. Um, Whereas program program languages like Python, well, they would, when they run the program, they do it line by line, so
Hmm.
sometimes it's a bit slower.
So have you like used a lot of languages?
Yeah, so I've done C++ and before that MATLAB
Oh, okay.
in school, but I've also done a bit of Python on my own.
And which is your favorite?
Probably Python, I guess, because it's quite simple. There's lots of libraries and stuff, which is really useful. Um, and there's also no declarations, which was also cool. But what's important to know with programming is that once you kind of know one language and how it works to program, like algorithms and stuff, it's really easy to go from one language to the next. You just need to find the equivalents.
Mm.
Yeah, so was that your favorite class during the year, or was there another class like that you actually enjoyed more than the coding, such as, like physics or your math class?
Yeah. Well, I really enjoyed we had a electricity and magnetism class. That was in my second semester. That was really cool, I found, because it really dug deep into like we did way more circuits than we did in high school, seeing capacitors, inductors, and also I really like the magnetic induction concept because I
Mm.
found that was pretty cool.
Mm.
How like a magnet or a I don't know electric flow could like create a current.
Yeah, we didn't do any
Yeah.
like circuits at U of T. We did like we drew them in some of our labs, but we didn't actually work
Well,
with like real
technically
circuits.
we did of sorts in like,
Oh yeah, we did one time. Yeah,
but like not
I
intense. Also
remember.
because like Raf, you like you're
Yeah,
in electrical engineering, right? Like so it's a lot more hands-on than theoretical physics. So it's probably that's why
yeah, exactly.
had more circuits to deal with and stuff.
Yeah, well, we didn't do the actual circuits either. We just did them, like mostly just solving problems,
Mm,
on paper, classic kind of
yeah.
thing. But this fall I do have a logic circuits class, so that's with logic gates, and that
Uh-huh.
is supposedly a very like hands-on class. So yeah, but that's probably one of the differences between like engineering in general and say like a physics degree as
Yeah.
you guys are doing.
So have you ever used an Arduino before?
I have, yes.
And do you think it's pretty cool? Do you think it's like simple, like a good way to start? You think, or like it's too complicated?
Oh no, for sure. It's like it's really simple. Like
Mhm.
I think I was in grade 7, like summer of grades. Oh no, in grade 7 I did Arduino also with this enrichment program. But yeah, it's definitely a good way to start if you kind of think that you like electronics and you like programming. That's a great way to start because there's lots of resources online for it too. So you really get, and you also get to code um,
Yeah.
and see.
I still remember in grade 9, I bought the Arduino and I made this light go up when the temperature went up, and I was
Yeah.
so excited that the light actually worked. I was just so excited. I was also very young.
I remember actually my first coding experience, and I always forget about this, but I'm pretty sure I was in like grade 5 or grade like 4 even. I went to a summer camp where we did like the Lego like
Oh yeah,
Mindstorms,
those
I
were
think.
really cool. Yeah.
Yeah, and so what we would do is, so in the beginning of the day we would build like the Lego model, and then so like for example one time we made a like an elevator, and then at the end of the day or like the second half after lunch we would learn how to code like everything we needed, and then at the very end of the day, we'd put it all together and then use it, and that was really cool. I know I made like a dinosaur that walked, and like an elevator and things like that.
Yeah, the good old Lego Mindstorms. Those are really great too.
I actually never had one.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Oh,
continue.
okay. Yeah, there's something about like, building, like a product, I guess, and then seeing it work is like
Mhm.
it's just satisfying because you really do see like your effort put into something, you,
Oh,
you
I
can see it
completely
working.
understand that.
Yeah,
Yeah, true.
Yeah, have you heard of the game Kerbal Space Program?
I haven't.
So it's this game where you make rockets and you fly them into space and land them on different planets and stuff. Obviously, I love it because I'm in the physics, but I'm just saying like making the rocket and seeing it work, even though it's obviously not comparable to electrical engineering. I just say that it's really cool, to see your something that you've been working on for some time actually work.
Oh
You
yeah,
know.
for sure.
I think it's different with like Lego Mindstorms because you get like an actual product that you
Mm,
build yourself and like code it yourself, and then when you see it work in front of your eyes, it's like damn, like this is like, I mean, it's not all you because it was like made for you,
sure,
but it still feels like an accomplishment, you know.
that's true.
Totally agree.
Not to put down your
My Killer Kerbal Space
your
Program.
rocket ships.
No, but on Kerbal Space Program, interestingly enough, there's this mod that's called KOS, which is a Kerbal operating system. So you can actually code your rockets, and the code that they use, even though is pretty specific to the game, it's actually quite widely used for just engineering in general. I think it's just I forgot the name of it. It's pretty. I forgot the name of the language, but it's used a lot, and it's really useful because it has a lot of math and physics functions. So that's why it's really useful. I think it's called like R or something. Like, is there a language like that?
Uh, Not
Like
sure.
I
robot
don't
R
know.
or something? I don't remember. It's something like that.
I'll definitely be looking up the your rocket game later.
Yeah, Kerbal Space Program.
Yeah, it's on Steam. I think it costs money, but you can also pirate it
Yeah.
and get it for free. You know, not endorsing illegal activity, but just saying it's
But I should
available.
say this: if you are planning on buying it, don't, because Kerbal Space Program 2 is actually coming out very soon. So if you want to buy it, just pirate the first one. To be honest, like I think that's the best advice I can give.
Well then, I actually haven't gotten it. I wanted to buy it when you showed it to me, which I'm pretty sure you showed it to me before like Christmas
Yeah,
break,
yeah.
and I thought about getting it, but I was like, I wasn't actually watching your old videos, but I remember seeing them and they looked really
Oh
complicated.
no.
I didn't really have time with like exams and all that to get
Mm.
into like virtual rocket
No,
building.
in the beginning, believe me, it's okay. Maybe also because when I started, I was pretty young. That's why maybe it was hard. But in the beginning, it
Mm.
was just so hard. I just didn't understand literally anything because the physics was so complicated. Like, I
Yeah.
have a YouTube channel on this too, and never gonna share the name of it, by the way. But it is on YouTube, and I was very young when I was playing it, so like I was just super confused. But obviously, like now, I understand a lot more, and that's what I'm saying. I think Parker, if you get it right now too, with all the physics knowledge and everything you have, I think it'll be pretty easy, or at least it'll be fun. At
Mm.
least it'll be fun.
Yeah, a good challenge.
Always. So, Raf, tell us this: what did you think about like your math course that you had this year, like your math and physics courses?
So, in terms of math courses, I had two calculus classes. So the first one was just derivatives. It was pretty much the same thing as we did in grade 12 of high school. And
Hmm.
then second semester was basically just everything about integration. Seeing all the techniques. And then at the end, we did sequences and series, and we saw the Taylor and Maclaurin series. Um, so those were I really enjoy. At first, I was kind of scared of integrals because there's a part of it where you have to like remember, or it's not remember as much, but sometimes you're a bit unsure of what to do.
Yeah, it's just kind of recognizing the
Hmm.
patterns and applying the right integration techniques.
Exactly. Once I got that figured out, I was I quite liked it. And then at the end, series were like really interesting. Like the fact that you can add stuff like to the infinity, yet it'll still equal one number that you can sometimes find out is quite a unique concept, I guess.
Yeah, it's really.
Um,
I know integrals. I think I baffled like everyone's mind, especially when we got to it. But 1 minute. So you pretty much covered everything that we did in our first year of uni. So I'm still not getting this concept of the second year of CJAP. If the second year of CJAP is basically the first year of university, like
yeah,
why even have it?
that is a very good question.
Because now you're just gonna have to do one extra year for no reason because you learned basically the same things we did. So I
Yes.
don't even understand why you need this.
Well, an interesting thing, because I was asking myself the same question, so I compared the curriculums. Let's say, I think I compared Carleton University to where I was going, the Polytechnique.
Hmm.
And so basically, what happens is, the first year they do the same thing as like we did this year, general, quite math and physics stuff. Second year they see more like engineering classes, same thing in third year, and then fourth year they already need to pick a concentration, like they need to specialize into like a subfield of their major. But us, we have 3 years of just like core engineering classes, and then in the fourth year we specialize. So really, you get one more year to know more about your major and really like what subfield you'd like to work in.
Oh, I guess that could make sense. But wait, so are you going to be going to the University of Montreal?
Yeah, well, technically, like the University of Montreal is affiliated to an engineering school, and that's where I'm going.
Okay.
It's like own school. It's like a weird concept, but it's really cool because we have all our own clubs and stuff, and it's all led by engineering students. So it's a really cool vibe, I guess.
So it's like a student-run school almost.
Oh no, no, I mean like it's all like engineering run school, we could
Yeah,
say.
yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, okay. That's pretty cool.
yeah.
So why do you think you chose Polytechnique as your school of choice?
Well, part of it was actually because I do play soccer as well, and I'm on the like university soccer team. So part of it was that, but also I wanted to keep studying in French, just because I had my whole life. And also Polytechnique is like a really good engineering school, I guess. So all of those factors combined was just like a good fit, and I've been very happy with my choice so far.
That's really cool.
Yeah, true. I find like when people just analyze their options and just follow their gut, they end up really enjoying the choice that they've made, which is, the case for me, case for you as well. I really enjoyed going to U of T, and I'm kind of sad that, there's a chance I might not even go back
Mm.
for second year, but are you planning on going back, Ref?
Well, so the way it's gonna work at our school is all like the lectures will be online, but for some classes, like the labs, they will keep them like in person, the classes. So my plans right now
Mm.
are to go back, because like I said, I have a circuits class that is pretty hands on, and apparently we'll have labs in person. So yeah, my plan is to go back, but of course it won't be the same thing as pre-pandemic, I guess.
Yeah, true. I think I really took for granted like the university life, which technically I didn't because it's kind of normal university life and I thought it was awesome. And I really would like to have gone back to experience it again for second year, but we'll see. There's a chance I do go back.
There is.
Yeah, but I don't think it's either way. I don't think it's going to be the same because there's going to be
There are gonna
restrictions
be
and
so many restrictions. That's the thing,
yeah.
For sure.
That's the problem. Wait, so Raf, are you like close to your engineering school, or are you gonna be like living on a residence or something?
Well, like since last year, well, for the first year, like I have an apartment quite close to the school. Like it's like 5 minutes by walk, so it's really nice.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, that's pretty cool.
I was gonna ask, how big is the campus for the Polytechnique?
So technically, it's two buildings. One that's been around since like I don't know how long, and then the other one, like mid 2000. It was actually the that building is really cool because it was the first building in Canada to be like to have like I think it's LEED. It's called. It's like the sustainability like it's a sustainability index. So it's really eco
Okay.
responsible. It's super cool. And then we have like a third building. that's more for like research, and it's like a startup hub kind of workplace for students as well. So it's quite cool.
And all of your classes are in these three buildings?
Yeah, mostly just the main one and the newer like eco-friendly one.
Oh, really? Yeah, that's super different to me and Ray because all of my classes were pretty much in like all in separate
Scattered around. Oh
buildings.
my gosh.
Yeah, scattered all around
Yeah.
the campus, which is pretty much I think it's like 4 blocks by 6 blocks.
The U of T campus? Oh, I mean, it's big.
Yeah,
I don't know how many blocks though. It's pretty big.
yeah, it's pretty big. And so like my furthest class was like almost a 20-minute walk.
Oh wow.
Wait, which class was that?
Maybe like the calculus class
Oh, yeah, that was a very long walk.
all the way down to King
That was a
Circle. Like,
long walk. Oh my gosh.
yeah. And my closest class was actually literally across the street from the
Oh,
residence because I was taking a class. It was like a college class, which has like the course code is like affiliated with the name of our college,
mhm.
and the class was in the town hall, which is across the street from the residence. So I literally like walked out of my res into the building, and then I was already in
That's
class.
actually why where you buy an apartment in Toronto, like in the campus, is actually really important. Because like majority of my classes, at least, maybe not Parker's, but mine were like in the McLennan building. So that's actually one of the major reasons why I chose Innis, because it was so close to the McLennan building, and I just thought, it's the best for distance. So I think that's why, especially with U of T, it's kind of important that you pick your location wisely.
You're such a liar. That's not why you picked
That is
Innis.
why I picked Innis. That's like the biggest reason. Okay, listen.
Yeah,
Let me tell
there's so
you.
many residences are close by. It doesn't even make a
I was
difference.
gonna pick. My original choice was Victoria, right? Because the scholarships were crazy. And once again, for anyone who's applying to U of T, this may actually help. So I was originally applying to Victoria, who gives off a lot of scholarships. But then I saw how far it was from McLennan. So I'm like, okay, not
Oh,
Victoria. And then another big one that I saw was Innis and Woodsworth. But I actually could have picked Woodsworth. I don't know why I didn't. I just chose Innis because really there was no
yeah.
reason. It's just that I thought.
Yeah, Raph,
Yeah.
what was the situation with the residents in Montreal? Like,
Like
why
with
didn't you go
the
into residence?
Well, there's quite a limited capacity because the residence is like for all of the like the University of Montreal, their business school, and the engineering school. So there's I don't think there's that many places, but basically I didn't get a spot, so then I had to find like an apartment.
Hmm. So, Raf, do you have any like electives or something,
That's funny.
or is it just engineering that you do?
Yeah, I don't have like any electives. Uh, Technically you do in so let's say in fourth year you need to like pick like classes to make like either a concentration, so it's usually like about like eight eight classes, 8 to 10
Hmm.
classes that fit into a theme, or you pick like your own classes to kind of make up your own like concentration, but we don't have like electives.
Oh, yeah, because you said that you simply go around those three engineering buildings, right? And that just got me
Yeah.
thinking, like, do you not have any classes other than engineering?
Yeah, no, it's all like math,
Oh,
physics,
wow,
engineering classes.
that must be a little boring.
Sorry. Well, I guess
Like, okay,
I like
okay,
it.
maybe boring's the wrong word to use, but like a little too, like too much math and physics sometimes without enough breath. It can really
Yeah.
take a toll on you.
Yeah, like I think the only classes that aren't really engineering is like there's a economics class and an ethics class that we have to take. That kind of goes with oh, and a sociology class as well.
Those aren't really interesting choices you got
Yes, for sure,
there.
and they're all required because
Oh,
so how it works for because there's like the engineering accreditation board, something like that.
well, wait. If they're all required, then they're not
No, they're not
electives.
electives. They're just non-engineering classes. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
That's I it seems like so there's like an organization that regulates like I guess the education in like engineering bachelors in Canada, and
Yeah.
so they require uh like the program to have like an ethics class, an economics class, and like I think a sociology class as well. I guess to like I guess make sure that they don't make any corrupt engineers.
Oh, I know that at Queens, they have to take like a geography class and a finance class, like the
Yeah.
engineers, which I don't really understand. Like, why do you have to take geography? But
Uh,
anyways,
the geography, yeah, I
it's
don't know,
not.
but oh, is that in? Well, I know in first year they have like a sort of geography class, because in first year they don't choose their major, I guess. It's just engineering general.
No,
I don't know,
yeah,
but the finance goes with the is basically the economics class that we take, so it's the same
yeah,
thing.
that's right.
That's really cool that you guys take economics for an engineering major. Like,
Yeah,
have you like even sociology? I was actually really like thrown aback by that. You guys take sociology for engineering?
yeah, it's like it's the class. I think it's because they want you to like recognize the impact that technology has, I guess, on society.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
that's
true.
interesting.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So, what's your most like most interesting course that you did this year? Like the most excited, or like every time you read the book, you're like, no way, that's crazy, or something like
Uh,
that.
I'd probably have to go back again to the electricity and magnetism class because there's
No,
a lot of
same.
things that I didn't see in high school. And they were really like different. Like the Gauss theorem, I think, or
Yeah, Gauss's
I think
law.
in English you guys call it differently. Or is
Yeah.
it Parker?
Yeah, Gauss's
Yes,
law.
Gauss's law. Um, yeah, because I basically just tried to translate what I named it in French. But yeah, Gauss's law was like pretty cool. It's like, oh wow, you can know how many electrons or whatever passes through. The area.
Yeah,
I was like, okay, that's pretty cool. Even though it's like really abstract, because it happens on such a small scale. It's
Hmm.
kind of cool to know.
yeah, but you can also make it pretty much on any scale you want,
Yeah.
right? Because the surface integral applies for any surface you want.
Yes, that's true.
But did you do surface integrals?
Not in calculus, but
I mean, neither did we.
Yeah, no, because basically they
Yeah.
introduce the like the notation
yeah,
for the surface integral, but basically they just showed us all the ways to avoid actually doing the integral
yeah.
and like finding, symmetries in the charge distributions to just like avoid having to do like horrendous calculations.
Yeah, exactly. That's the exact same, I guess, approach they took for us too. It's funny because a guy in my physics class, he did a bachelor's in mathematics at the University of Montreal, but then he realized he wants to do engineering. So he got credited all his math classes, but he still had to take, the other like physics and classes he didn't take.
Yeah,
So he told us in class, he's like, "Oh, that's not how you do a integral of a surface of a closed surface."
he had some superior knowledge.
Yes, exactly.
But Rav, did you take any statistics classes?
Yes, I was gonna, because I think like 10 minutes ago, your question was what math classes I took, but I was gonna say
Oh
I
yeah.
also took probability and statistics class. That was also a very, very interesting class. So we did a lot of probabilities first, and then we just saw all the statistical distribution laws, like Gauss's law, our friend Gauss, the Gauss curve,
Hmm.
or
Mhm.
the bell curve, sorry. And then the Poisson. I think it stays the same name. Anyways, those were really cool. And then at the very end, we did like we saw how you can test to be like if we take for example the coronavirus test, when you get tested to see if you have it. Well, it's only precise to like a certain percent of uh of the time, right?
Hmm.
So you can actually calculate and see how you can kind of manipulate the numbers to get the right level of confidence that you want in your test. So that was really cool as well.
Oh, that's actually
It's
really cool.
definitely an interesting field of mathematics.
I'm actually,
Yeah.
interestingly enough, going into statistics. I actually broadened my major this year. Well, I don't know if it's gonna work. I just selected it online. I haven't actually been through a class yet because I just decided why not to take a statistics minor, because I just think statistics is
Okay.
really cool. Like it just because I just think it applies to like everyday stuff that you usually
Yeah, for
use,
sure.
and I just think it's useful in that way. You
Yeah,
know.
I totally agree.
Mm.
Like, because like you think of the integral, like, yeah, sure, it applies to like a lot of things, but it's not necessarily things that a lot of people use every day. I think we
Hmm.
can agree with
Hmm.
that.
True.
But like
Mhm.
statistics, it's really easy to relate, like the average
Yeah.
that or the mean, sorry. Uh, you know, that's something people actually use
Yeah.
often.
I think another really useful thing is like permutations and combinations. Like I did a
Yes,
grade 12 stats course, and the moment my teacher, like, she started teaching all these things of permutation and combination, I'm like, wow, like I can use this like every day. It's just so
yes,
useful, you know? Like
yeah,
it's just
Mhm.
so many real world problems require, combinations. Like how many combinations can you make or something like that,
yeah.
right?
Just like if you forget your lock combination and want to figure it out, well, it's
Exactly.
only 60 to the power of 3 possibilities, you know?
Quite a
So,
lot, but doable, doable.
yep. Parker and I actually took that class too.
Yeah, we took that class together, and it was like an online class, but we took it like online in class, if that makes
Wait,
sense.
what?
Yeah,
Like
well, like,
we had a class with like filled with computers where all the online classes would
Bro,
take
I know
place.
exactly what you're talking about. I had a very similar
Yeah,
class. I had a very similar class. I know what you're talking about. It's really weird 'cause the teacher
yes,
really has no purpose.
yeah,
exactly.
like he just had to make sure we were like doing our
Yep.
stuff, you know,
Yep.
linking us to like the virtual teacher who was like in
Mhm.
a school kilometers away.
Yeah, those are classic
Yeah.
classes.
So we did the stats class together, and the exam was interesting because there
Uh,
was no monitoring, but that's all I'm gonna say.
yeah,
um, very very good grade at the end though, well deserved.
it wasn't a very advanced class. Like if we look at what we did in that class, I think inside like a week, maximum 2 weeks in my university statistics class, we covered all of the stuff we did in that class.
Yeah, university is much more fast paced.
Yeah.
To finish off the math classes that I took, I then took a linear algebra class, which was basically the same as you guys. I know Parker and I we talked like throughout the semester. Like I took it in the fall, but I believe you guys had like a linear algebra class in winter.
Yeah, so I took mine in the winter term, and Ray took his in the fall
Mhm.
term.
Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, so I had done mine before Parker. And so we compared throughout the winter semester, and I'm pretty sure we did about the same stuff.
Hey, Raph,
Yeah.
are you the guy that Parker was teaching calc to that day?
No.
Yeah, yeah, I was. I'm pretty sure you FaceTimed me
Yeah.
one time. You had a question.
Oh yeah, that was in the fall.
Because the moment you said, I was talking to him about linear algebra, I don't know why, I just remembered your name on his FaceTime on his phone, and I'm just like, "Wait,
Yeah,
you've spoken to him before in front of me."
yeah. Oh yeah, wait, was that in the winter, Parker? When was that? Yeah, I
Yeah.
remember one time I was like, oh yeah, yeah, because in electricity, well, in physics they showed us integrals, but then we hadn't done it in
Mhm.
calculus yet.
Yeah.
So I was kind of like, oh, what am I supposed to do? Yeah, so then I FaceTime Parker so that he could teach me because I knew you guys had done it first.
That's awesome.
Oh,
Yeah.
and I know you guys did a lot of proofs in your calc class, and an important difference that I just wanted to like say is that we didn't do like any proofs this year, or I think in general in calculus we don't really do many. Um, yeah, so like in engineering, it's really more like how you use them.
Mhm.
Like we were
Yeah.
shown the proofs, but we weren't expected to do any, so we were never actually evaluated on
That's the life.
that. Yeah,
Okay, so I think we've already hit 36 minutes. I think we're pretty good. We can definitely actually have a part two, talk about some stuff that maybe we want to learn in the next 4 years. Because, well, we know Raf has another 4 years ahead of him. So we can talk maybe about some of that.
yeah, for sure.
Sure.
I would love to be back on. Thanks for
Of
inviting
course,
me.
of course.
Yeah, we'd love to have you on once again. Before we end the podcast though, I wanted to say thank you to everyone that's been listening to the podcast. Yesterday we actually hit 1,000 downloads.
Woo!
So
Oh,
super hyped about that. Thanks
Thank you
for
so much.
listening.
Hmm.
This has been episode number 15 featuring Raphael Rowley from Montreal. I'm your host Parker.
And I'm Ray, and we will see you soon.
Peace.